Evening. A week and a half ago, I did a introductory to Kingdom Commerce. Tonight, I wanted to share just a little bit about my life so that you understood where I came from, where my beliefs came from, and why I believe what I believe, and why this is so important, in particular for the town that I'm living in called Brooks Point. Uh, I grew up in Canada, mostly in Vancouver and Kelowna. My childhood was marked by a lot of instability. It was a fractured home. Uh, my mother had been married 5 times. That brokenness had created a longing for something sacred, something stable, something mythic, or something to believe in. In my teens, God sent me men who stood in the gap. Uh, they weren't perfect, but they were present where my natural father was not. They became guardians. They showed me glimpses of what fatherhood should look like. In my later teens, they also taught me discipline and integrity from a godly point of view. Uh, and I learned from them that leadership is not about power, it's about covering. Even in brokenness, God plants protectors to keep the flame alive. Um, you know, we were brought in a home that was basically church centered. We were Christians, but it was church centered, not Christ centered. When I was 16, I got my very first job. And the boss that I had told me, whatever department you worked in, treat it as your own little business. That one sentence, it shaped me. It taught me ownership, stewardship, and responsibility. From then on, I treated every role basically sacred ground. Whether bussing tables or leading a team, that mindset became the foundation for everything I would later build. In my early 20s, I lived in two worlds. I was serving in youth ministry in the church, learning to guide, to listen, and to speak life. And I was working in hospitality, serving tables, learning systems, watching how people gather. At first, they seemed separate, but I realized they were the same. Both were about people, both were about presence, both were about creating spaces where others could flourish. My employers were not just bosses, they were mentors to me. They showed me that business could be fathering, covering, and empowering. And I began to see the marketplace was my ministry. In my 20s, I married. Together, we were sent by our home church to Japan, not as tourists, but a family on assignment. And here's what marked me: the mission wasn't financed by donation, it was financed by a business contract that I had. So even then, I could see it. The marketplace and the ministry were not separate, they were one. In Japan, I met Pastor Ed Delph. We are still friends to now. That's going on 20 years almost, or has it been 20 years? Anyways, he wrote a book called Church at Community. And when I heard it, read it, heard him speak, there was an instant uh, connection. We spent some time. I had the privilege of walking around a city close to Tokyo, spent, I guess a good 2, 3 hours just walking and talking with him. Uh, and just talking to him, that there was something inside of me that leapt. because for years I'd been living this truth without the words to explain it. Pastor Ed was able to give me the biblical foundation to back it up. So suddenly my story made sense. The business is the ministry. The business is the church. That revelation became the cornerstone of everything that I would build. It wasn't easy. My wife, ex-wife, had once lived in Japan as a single girl, not yet a Christian. Now she returned as a wife, a mother, and a believer. We had 3 children. Together we faced cultural differences, raising a family between nations and between worlds. In the middle of it, a door opened in the Philippines. At first, it looked like an opportunity, but it revealed something darker. I encountered a pastor whose private life didn't match his public words. When I exposed what was hidden, it created a conflict. Years later, his secrets caught up with him in a very tragic way. That experience also marked me. It showed me that leadership without integrity is a house built on sand. It deepened my convictions. What I build must be transparent. And so, in where I am building this tourist hub, Phoenix must be a place where light leaves no room for shadows. Then came the breaking. Certain things happened. I lost my ministry overnight. Things happened with my family. My marriage eventually fell apart. Ended up back in Canada alone. I didn't go to church on a steady basis. The rhythm was gone. The fire was dim. But in that silence, I learned what it meant to be emptied. And in that emptiness, a deeper hunger was born. The valley became ashes. From those ashes, the phoenix would rise. 10 years ago, after my adoptive father passed away, I came to the Philippines, remarried in 2016, and we settled in Brooks Point. Not just as residents, but people planting roots. Brooks Point became more than just geography. It became a destiny, a place where grief could turn into growth, a place where legacy could be built, not just for me, but for a community. The last 10 years have not been easy. We've struggled, we've given up, we've restarted. About a year ago, I left and went to Tacloban, and that was a reset button for me. There, I stripped away the noise, faced myself, found clarity, hunger, and a fresh fire. Every failure, every restart, they weren't wasted. They were rehearsals for resurrection. Which brings us to where we are now. The Phoenix has been revised, refined through fire. Today, the vision is clearer than ever. Phoenix is not just a leisure village. It is a fundamental economy, a place where business is ministry, ministry is business. The biggest change is I'm no longer standing alone. It was just my wife and I before. For the first time, a real team is coming around, not through struggle, not through fight, but just through alignment. The Phoenix is no longer just my story, it's becoming our story here in Brooks Point, and together we will rise. So in conclusion, as we move further and I talk more about economic transformation, I don't present this as I have it all figured out and that I have all the answers. I'm still living this. I'm still working it out. I'm still discovering what God is revealing through my story. Okay. Um, so what I'm sharing is not theory. It isn't something pulled together because it sounds nice, and you know, it's a testimony, and I believe that it's a relevant message for the community at this time. Um, this is not the end of this story. It is the beginning of a series, and together we will move forward. Thank you for your time, and this Saturday I will post. We will start the series in depth. There'll probably be about 9 to 10 different videos that I will do, and we'll take it from there. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Tune in on Saturday for the next one. Thank you. Good night.